Pistons are going to have over $60 million in cap space going into next season. With that, what are some players and what are even like types of players that you would like to see the Pistons ultimately pursue in free agency? So, for example, looking at some guys that are going to be available next year, I know that the Warriors are going to have a whole lot that they're going to have to figure out on the money side of things. I would not mind if Andrew Wiggins at some point, I know he's going to get an extension. I know they're going to probably talk about it. However, if for whatever reason that fell through, I would not mind if he came to Detroit and had a conversation with Troy Weaver, because we saw his offense on full display, his defensive ability to lock down Jason Tatum in the NBA Finals, everything that he did. He's the type of guy that I would love to add to the Pistons core in what we're doing right now. But there are so many players that are going to be available on the market. And Jeff, I know you had a little bit more time to prepare for this than Troy did, so I'll go to you first. What are some names that attract you, and who are some veterans that you'd love to see in a Pistons uniform at some point?
So looking at the 2023 free agents, the first thing I'm looking for is wing depth. That's kind of what we look for. You mentioned it already with Andrew Wiggins. Another guy, I could add a couple guys. Jay Crowder is going to be a free agent as well. He kind of fits that mold, can space the floor, brings that toughness, fits the culture. Another guy could be Otto Porter. You mentioned the Warriors, a guy that, again, another versatile piece that can, this is what we need. We love livers so much. We need more livers. We need more guys like Isaiah Livers and Sadiq Bey, because that's what the Pistons are lacking. So those two would be come off the top of my head. But even a guy like an underrated guy, Harrison Barnes, like a guy that 31 years old. We don't know how much money he's going to be commanding. And I get he plays for the Kings. They now drafted Keegan Murray. Who knows what his future looks like? A guy who could switch between the 3 or the 4. So that's who I would be looking at. I know this class is top heavy. You're not getting clearly. Let me just read you the top. I mean, there's LeBron James, Russell Westbrook. Ooh, Russell Westbrook. James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Porzingis. Like it's really those middle of the pack guys is what I'm looking for. And it starts at the wings. Can you play the 3 and the 4? That's what I'm at. And can you space the floor? Yeah. Those are the two things I'm looking at.
Yeah, absolutely. Troy.
Yeah, so Jeff, I had 3 names that came to mind, and Jeff hit on one of them already, Harrison Barnes. I think he's a wing that can really stretch the floor. And call me crazy for the next one, because it's all going to be about the pricing. We're going to have to probably rip this guy off a little bit, and I don't think he's looking to get ripped off. And it also sounds crazy because he's been
say it, Troy.
Already.
Just say
Tobias Harris. A Tobias Harris at the right price. Seriously.
The return? Okay.
A return at the right price.
Coming home.
At the right price.
Yeah, at the right price.
I think he fits this team well. And maybe the right price isn't even realistic for me to even say. But I just feel like he's a guy that we know what he can do on the offensive end. And I think he's a pretty underrated defensive guy too. And, I'm thinking he's like a 6-man, 7th-man kind of guy. So I'm not even saying he's going to be a starter at all.
I think at the end of the day, I think he just has too much talent in this league that he's going to start.
Sure.
I think there's 29 other teams in this league that he's a guy that's going to start somewhere. I would say, to your point, there's no world where I'd want to give Tobias Harris a max contract. I think if the Philadelphia 76ers could go back, I think they would pay Jimmy Butler over Tobias Harris. Correct. Just a thought. Just a thought.
Yeah. So again, it's the right price. Maybe we're 3-4 years away from that, Sean. Maybe it's not this upcoming free agency, but maybe it's 2026 or something like that, when we still maybe have a Kader Sadiq. Who knows by then? But say we do, and we're still in the contender range, and you bring a true veteran at that point, a 10+ year guy like Tobias Harris at that time in the career. That's kind of more where my head was at.
Right.
Again, another one at the right price, also a former Piston, but a Spencer Dinwiddie who could pair with a Cade. And I guess with a scenario where Killian Hayes may not be on the roster, I think Dinwiddie would fit in more. But he was a guy that came to my mind as well.
Yeah. That's
fair. Can I throw one more in there too? Yeah. Seth Curry. I like Seth Curry. That you mentioned the Killian thing. Listen, we don't know what Alec Burks is going to be. We don't know how long he's going to be here. So if he's gone, you need guards. I like Seth too. It's the shooting aspect, but that's the guy I wanted to add besides the wings.
Yeah, no, for sure. And even then, there's a lot of potential different guards and potential different avenues that you could go. I mean, let's say even what if you could get a guy like D'Angelo Russell as a potential 6-man and someone that you could bring off your bench, someone that is a clear bucket, someone that helped the Nets a few years ago get to the playoffs, a guy who, has shown that's willing to play that type of role. If we're able to bring him in on a solid contract, I think that's the type of guy that can bring and really change your second unit and add a lot of scoring and playmaking to that unit. And, when I'm thinking of getting creative and how we can use that cap space, that's something that would make us better right away.